What's up? Hey guys, it's Ivan. In this video, I want to show you how to create a landing page on Leadpages. Something that will look like this. We're going to try to mimic this exact page, but we're going to start it completely from scratch so that you get an idea for how to use the tools inside of Leadpages. If you want to follow along with me, I do have my affiliate 14-day free trial link in the description. Check that out and let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is click on Create New Landing Page. Now in here, I'm given some choices just to give you some templates. Leadpages will do that, but we're going to start with a blank page, okay, so we can get to know all the tools. And now we have to give it a name. So let's say YouTube awesome page, something like that. If you have any pages that you liked that you would like me to mimic as well using any of the tools like Unbounce, Leadpages, or ClickFunnels, let me know and maybe I can make a video on that. So over here we have our first section. Okay, so this is completely blank page. We have our section here. The section name is Hero. So once we click on that, just click on that name here, we can add it. We can edit the options here, like space from the top, right? I'm gonna keep it back at default because we'll get through that later on. But that's the name of the section. So we can rename the section, this one, if we wanted to. So say like maybe overall section 1 or overall container 1, right? Really, whatever you want to. This is just for your reference, but I would recommend that you do rename these as you go because it will make it easier for you later on to figure out what's what. So we have that. We do have one row in place, which just comes as part of the section, but we do have to add content to it, right? So on our page here, let's start with a logo. Okay, so let's add an image bracket here. So we're going to go to widgets. Let's add an image and we'll just drag and drop it here. Now this is a bit big, but don't worry about that. We can fix that later on. Let's also, I'm thinking, add this large picture in the background first. So what I'm going to do is go to layout. We're going to go to overall container here and section style. Okay, so section style is the styling for this entire huge box here. Okay, so we'll click on that and let's add an image. So you can upload images through here, right? I already prepared some images to use, so I'm just going to click this image. You can add the title and alt text, and we'll click insert, and there you go. So we have our background, right? We still need this white square, and we'll get to that, and I'll show you how to do all that. So the first thing, let's create our logo. Okay, so I'm going to add an image here. So you have three options. You can add the link, you can edit the image dimensions, and you can add the actual image. So let's click that first. So we're going to use our logo here as an example, right? Like they have their logo, we'll use ours. And I'm going to insert. Okay, now this is a bit too big, I think, so we can reduce it by just changing the width. I think that's still a bit too large, so let's keep on editing this a bit. Okay, too small. Maybe let's do it manually. Let's type in 25. Looks good. Maybe a little bit bigger. 35, kind of a perfectionist. Yeah, looks about right. Okay, cool. So we have that. Now, as you can see, the white is only around my logo, right? We want the white to be throughout the entire section like they have here. So what we do is we go back into here. Now we've added this column, right? That's the column where we actually put content. So we're going to select that and we can add the background color here. So I'm going to click here. Now, brand colors, if you click edit here, you will be taken to your Leadpages page where you have all these different colors that you kind of added. You can delete them later on, but it's called brand colors in case you're making a landing page with your brand name on it. It's easy to go there and just select your brand colors. I don't have any color in mind, so I'll click recent colors and I'll click add, and then I'm gonna select white, and there it is. Okay, we have this white background like we have here. Now you can also increase the margins, right? So like we did here, padding. So you can make it 10, for instance, and it's going to increase the distance. But there are some limitations to what you can do. Like if you want to drag it even lower than the one that it has here, lower than 0, say, you can't really do that without coding. So there are some limitations with what you can do here. But we've added that. Okay, so now we have to add this image and text. Now, if we just drop an image, if we go here, and we just drop, say, text here, as you can see, it doesn't give me the option to have two columns, okay? So we have to create another row and another column. So this row has one column. We have to now create another row with two columns, okay? So I'm gonna go to layout, and we have to add a row, and then we have to add two columns to it. So I'm gonna add a row here, and we can rename this, okay? So like I said, I do recommend you do that. So we can say this is logo, maybe logo container, and then when you click on that, you can say this is logo image. This is just a good habit to get into if you're making more complicated landing pages with more content in there or whatnot. Easier to follow through. So let's name this our content container, because it will have the image and the text and the button. So we have the one column here, but remember we said we want two columns, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to click add a column, and now we have two columns, 1 and 2, just like in this page we're trying to mimic. So let's rename this column, let's say image, and this one we could say text, okay? So now we know exactly what is what. Okay, so let's add the actual widget now. We have to add the image widget, and you can see everything you have pretty straightforward, right? You have image and text, video, form. Pretty simple. We'll get through some of these. So let's add the image here. Now, so now you see, now you can add it only here. Remember before, you had to add it to the full section, like to the full length of the one column. Now we have the option to add it to two. So we're going to drop it here, and then let's add text. So we're going to add a few text brackets. One is we're going to add something that looks like this. Second text we're going to add with these little lines, and then the third element we're going to add is the button. So we're going to add text 1, text 2, and then let's look for button. Okay, we're going to add the button there. Okay, so we're pretty much, we got the skeleton laid out here. So let's select this image. We can, again, add the link, edit the image, or we can actually add the image, which is what we want. So let's say we want to add this image here, okay, this little book. And again, if this is too big or too small, we can just adjust it here, okay? But we're going to leave it at 100. I think that looks fine as it is. So let's write a headline. So let's say something like, so we're just going to select the text, right, and just add stuff there. Short-term rental turnovers guide. Okay, so let's say something like this. Now you do have limits in your text size. You can't really be granular here with Leadpages, but it's not meant for complicated landing pages or funnels, right? It's made for something simple. So you may notice that it caps at this size. However, if you go to this option here, the type, you can select headline 3, headline 2, which should make it bigger, and then headline 1, okay? And then of course jumbo. So you do have some variety, but it is pretty limited. So let's go with headline 3, or actually, let's go with headline 1, and let's just decrease the size of that because it is our headline. Let's maybe make it like this, 4. We can remove the spacing. This isn't really, this doesn't really show. Let's do that, and let's maybe bold it. Okay, so to bold it, we have to select everything and bold it. And that looks about right, right? Maybe increase the size by a little bit. Maybe make it 5. Yeah, looks about right. Now what you could do if you want more space is kind of move this around, right? So this is your separation here between the two columns. You can just move that if you want. I think we're fine keeping it like that. Looks pretty similar here. Yeah, so okay, so that looks good. So let's now add these things, right? So 3 things that people are gonna learn. So let's say learn how to do this, learn how to do that, and much, much more. Now you can't see this part, so we can just move that. And then what we can do, oops, learn much more. So now what we can do is we can select all that, and we have to add the arrows here, like this. Now we do want to color, right? So over here they are green. Let's say we want ours to be teal. We can select all that, go to color, and then list item color is right there, and we can add our color. Something that looks like this. Nope, too much. Maybe that looks fine. Now here's what you can do. I'm using an extension called Colorzilla. So what I'm gonna do is click on this extension, and the color has been copied to clipboard. So what I'm gonna do is now select this text again, go back to color, go back to add, list item, and now I'm just gonna paste the color code here, click enter, and this is the exact, this matches this color, or supposed to. In this case, you know, there's a little cover, so when I hover over this, Leadpages gives a little cover, so it's not the exact same color, but close enough, okay? So that's cool. Now, we do probably want to make that a bit bigger, so let's just select everything here. Let's make it 7. Looks about right. Yeah, looks good. Wondering if we want to change the font. Yeah, so we can change the font here. So if we just select everything and then, you know, I like Lato or Lato, whatever you say. I like that. So we can keep it at that. Now remember, we do want a white background, right? Like we have here. So let's do that. So we're going to go back into layout. We're going to select our image. Logo. Okay, sorry, that's the logo. So we want to select this image and we want to add the background color, which was white. We've done that. Now let's do the same to the text. Here, background, we want white. And there you go. Okay, so we're getting there step by step. We're getting there. So, okay, so this one actually opens a pop-up, okay? And the reason for that is sometimes it's good to get people committed. So these are things called micro commitments. When people click this button, they are subconsciously saying yes, and then they see the pop-up and then they say yes again, right? So it's a way of kind of prompting action and prompting user commitment to whatever you're offering. So what we can do is we can also add a pop-up open here. So we click on add event and we say opens a pop-up. And now we have to create a new pop-up. We can do that. This looks good as is pretty much, but let's just finish the other stuff here first before we do that. So for instance, I want to change this color. And it looks like it didn't save the other code. So we'll just paste that again here. Maybe we want to increase that. So get instant access to your guide now. Maybe say something like this. Let's increase the size a bit. Let's see if we can maybe move this a bit. Now we can make it a bit bigger. That looks okay, I guess. We can not bold it. Let's see if that looks any better. Looks about right. Maybe this is too much. So let's say access your guide now. Get your guide now. Maybe let's say something like that. And now that should allow us to increase the size by a bit more. There you go. So that looks about right. Now over here, as you can see, there's more space. Over here, it's kind of all out. So what we can do is let's go into our container and let's see if we can increase some more padding at the bottom and at the top. So we've increased a bit of space there. We could also just add a section, and that should make it look a bit bigger. But this is roughly what it will look like, right? So let's see. Yeah. So what else do we have to do? What else is here? That's pretty much it for here. Trying to make it look just like the example. So let's see if we can drop it. Yeah, looks about right. Now in this case, this looks okay. So let's edit our pop-up now. So we're gonna click here, click edit pop-up, and so this is the form integration. Okay, so I'm not gonna get into that in this video. It's a whole other video on how to integrate it with your autoresponder, stuff like that. But we can edit this. So if we go to section 1, let's name this pop-up section or pop-up container. And then we can go into row or section style and we can remove some of the padding here. So as you can see, maybe this is too much for you. So let's see if 0 works fine. And again, we can do it manually. Okay, so maybe we do want some at the top. Yeah, looks about right. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Where can we send it? Yeah, looks about right. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. Maybe make this a little bigger. Send me the guide. We could say maybe all caps. Yes, send me the guide. Okay, so that's pretty much it for that. Let's see, what else do we have? So let's add maybe a little section there at the bottom for disclaimer, testimonials, and stuff like that. So we go back to widgets, we click on text. Now, as you can see here, if you add it here, our second row contains 2 columns, right? So we can't just add it here. So we have to create a new row. So we're going to go back to layout. I'm going to go here. And then we have our rows here. So let's add, we can add a section, but we can keep everything in one section here, I think. So let's click on add row. Let's rename this terms container, because it'll have terms and copyright and stuff like that. And then we can click on that. And we have 1 column. Okay, so now we can go in and we can add our text here. There it is. And let's say, so that looks similar. So let's say we want to write copyright 2020 OME, Online Marketing Essentials. We can say terms and conditions. We could say privacy policy, and we can say disclaimer. Okay, so we can leave it at that. Now we can center this as well. Click there and click center. And that pretty much does it. Let's see if we can increase the padding a little bit more on these 2 guys, right? So we'll go here, select image, and let's just increase the padding a little bit at the bottom. Maybe make it 6 or so. Looks about right, right? Yeah. Doesn't look exactly like this page. These ones are bigger, but I don't like it that big. But obviously you can, now you know how to adjust all that if you need to. So that pretty much does it for our page. Let me see. So sometimes you may notice that a button might be too big, for instance, right? And you want to make this smaller. What you can do is go here to widgets again and go to space. And we can add space here, for example, on the right side. And now that adds spacing. Now, this is too much space. So what you can do is you can just drag it a bit like that, something like this. And now, there's that space and the button is smaller. So you can do the same exact thing for every single element here if you wish. But that pretty much does it for that. I'm trying to think if there's something we missed. I don't think so. Let's just quickly do the terms. So for instance, if you want to take people to this page, right? You want to give a link to this page, you click that, you click on link, and you click on external, yeah, and then you add your page, https www.yourwebsite.com/terms and conditions. You can copy this, open a new window, and get out of that, and then click on privacy policy. Do the same thing here. Add a link, external, add that there, but now here, right? Privacy policy. Again, new window, disclaimer, same thing. New window. And that right about does it. So I don't think we missed anything. Edit pop-up. Yeah. So I mean, once people enter their email, that's pretty much it, I think, for our landing page. Now this does not publish, this doesn't show. So let's preview this page and then we'll publish it and you will see what it looks like. Let's give it a few seconds. Okay. So our page should look something like that, which looks like a complete landing page. It looks just like this one. Okay. So once you're done with that, and by the way, you can check it on your phone, on your tablet, right? Makes it pretty simple. Again, we'll do another video for mobile optimization if there is one, if there is a need to do that for your page. But otherwise, that's pretty much it. So we can publish the page. Let's click publish. And let's see what the final page looks like online when you actually access it. Okay, so let's copy the link. Let's go back to our pages just to see that it's there. Back to Leadpages. So you can always re-edit the page here. It's this awesome YouTube page, right? You click here, you click here, edit, or you could just click on the actual page there. But let's paste our link, and ta-da, there's our page. When we enter that, you can enter the email. Now again, separate videos required for how to integrate this with GetResponse or Aweber or whatever third-party tool you're using. But that's pretty much all there is to it. If you did enjoy this video and you liked Leadpages, you can check out my 14-day free Leadpages trial. It is much, much cheaper than the other landing page tools we've used, like ClickFunnels and Unbounce, which are about $100 each per month. This one, the cheapest package is $37 a month. But as you can see, it gets you what has to be done to create a landing page, okay? Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you will probably like my Unbounce playlist, where I show you how to build pages with Unbounce, and my Google Ads playlist, where I teach you how to create campaigns and take traffic to your landing page in Google Ads. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.